The discussion will start with organizational structure. So already we know what is called as organization, and we will talk about the organization structure. So already we have discussed about organization. So it is a system of consciously coordinating the activities or forces of two or more persons. So in organization, what we do is we try to combine the work which each individual or the group in which the individual is representing that will be performing. So while they are performing, they will be performing with some facilities which is very much essential in order to execute the particular work. So they are trying to do the duty in a coordinated way, in a combined way, and in a group or an individual way, so that they get the best result. So the best result is a result which is fulfilling the goals of the organization and also the personal goals of the individual. So this is what is called as organization, and we have seen the nature and all those things. Now, as far as the organization structure is concerned, why do we have such a structures in order to have a division of work, then in order to have a functional definition? So what are the functions that are done in the organization we have? Then regarding the unity of direction, how it has to be. Then the span of control to whom you have to report to. That is span of control. So the total work what we have in an organization is being splitted, and it is divided into departments based on nature. That is, for example, if it is a pharmaceutical company, we have a medicine, for example, then a disease-based department, or we have a transport for the employees. All these things are coming under. So we have that. And regarding functional department, each department, as I told you, sales means we have the duty of work, all work to put together under the sales department, which is related to sales. Then regarding this division of work, all those things is concerned, how does it focus on? So what does it focus on? It focuses on the mission of the particular company. So what is this mission is nothing but, as I told you, it is the identifying why we have this company, what is the goal of this company. So based on that only we can have the structure of the organization. Then it tries to define the optimal workflows, that is how the work is being flowing. So the process how it is being done. Then the roles, so this already discussed with respect to job roles. So they agree or on job roles, so what is their authority and responsibility. Only based on the job roles, authority and responsibility is fixed, and we know authority always moves with responsibility and it moves with accountability. Then regarding the organization structure, so based on the mission, purpose, and roles, we select and we finalize the organization structure. This organization structure helps us for reporting, communication, a flow of authority, responsibility. So it tries to determine the reporting relationship, what is to be there in the organization. Then how do that we put that into practice, build a system. So how do we put that into practice? That is with respect to organization deciding the structure. So the meaning of organization structure is how the activities, that is, we have various work to be done. So all these various works are categorized into different tasks or sub works based on the particular nature. So we have task allocation, and in task allocation, after that we try to coordinate all the work and we try to combine all these small subsystem works into a main work, that is coordination of the work, and supervise. So we try to supervise and direct how we are going to achieve the organizational goals. So organization goals is the goal or a purpose, why do we have the particular organization, and this particular structure is purely based upon the organization action and the foundation on what standards they are operating. So the routine task, what they do, and the procedure based on which we finalize the organization structure. The next one is the different four major types of organization structure is the functional one, divisional one, matrix one, and flat organization. So when we talk about this various key elements of this particular organization structure, as I told you, this organization structure focuses on network So how the particular organization is going to function, the network it gives us. So this network is based on the relationship of authority and responsibility. So here we are trying to lead one activity, and that particular activity, how the distribution of authority. So the relationship between the superior and subordinate, that is only called as authority. So here we are having the combination of differentiation and integration. So different department, different tasks are divided into subtasks and performed by individuals. So here we talk about job skills or job roles, that is specialized skill. What is essential for the particular job? So for marketing, the person should have some marketing skill and knowledge in marketing. He is a specialized person. So that is the individual task and that is the job role given to him. Integration here, what we do is we try to coordinate and cooperate each other with their work role. So this is nothing but we are making the independent role into a collective contribution. So attain to in order to attain the common goal. So we have that output. So whatever result we are getting, that becomes the output. So the output of one person will become the input for the another person. That becomes the chain of coordination of work, how that particular work is being done. In case of organization structure, if we have a clear structure, there will not be any doubt about the authority and regarding leadership also. And when we have a particularly structure, with the resource allocation will be very simple and very easy. So when we understand the structure of the organization, it is very much easy for to understand the resources, how the resources has been allocated. It provides a framework. So the framework, that is the function is being provided, the framework is given, and we try to understand. It gives a provision of authority through organization structure and various members. So how the people are there in the structure, that is also being easily understandable, and it helps for a smooth operation of management process. So the structure will provide a mechanism, and this mechanism is very much helpful to plan. So to plan, to allocate, to direct, to coordinate and control the activity. So that is the reason why do we have this particular organization structure in an organization. Then what are the main factors we can take into consideration which decides the organization structure? Main is the vision and mission, as I told you. It is the objective of the organization. So the objective, whatever the objective is, so you can have an market segmentation, that is you want to be the market leader, that could be your objective, or you want to have a better acute the competition is there, so you have that structure. And the size of the operation, so these are the factors which we have. And when we talk about the organization structure is concerned, we have different. So there is a thing which we have to take into consideration, that is a formal and informal organization. So here when we talk about formal organization, this formal organization will be deliberately, that is be willingly, that is being done consciously by the organization itself. So in this formal organization, the rules and procedures are being already given. But informal organization is being done by the groups. So this is involved. So we call it as an informal groups. And these groups, what they do is they have the common interest. So we have a separate groups, but people they themselves join a group, that is because of their interest. They have an interest and they form a common group. So such groups may be done because of the social knowledge they have, or to have an updation, the technological knowledge or the goal interest. So this is how we have the informal organization structure. And in this informal organization, we will see all these advantages and all those things. Then when we talk about the functional organization, we based on the functions. So we have a different category of functions, like sales we have marketing, or we have engineering. So based on these functions, we categorize everything into consideration. We have based on the functions. What are the functions are they are doing it? This particular functional organization is based on the departmentation. So we have the sales department, marketing department, engineering department, as I given you an example. what we do is we have the functions. So based on the functions, we try to have division, and this division helps us to have various activities or functions. So this division or functions is based on the specialization. So a person is very much specialized in marketing, then he will become the vice president of marketing because he has a skill and that function is being allocated to him. And this is very important when we talk about the structure and this functional organization which has a multiple system. So it is very, very important in order to understand the organization structure. And the main purpose why do we have this function is to have specialization. So in order to reap the benefit of specialization, so person one who is well versed in sales, then it is more beneficial to the organization. So in such case, if you talk about it, is very, very beneficial to the organization. Second one is we, as we know, when a person is more specialized, then the top executives will try to reduce the function specialist because he is more function beneficial to the organization. So the burden relief from the burden is given to them. Then so there is no rule for dictatorial. That is, they are not dictating, or because he has the total authority. The person one is taking of vice president of sales, he has a total authority of the management, and he knows how to go for because he is already a functional expert in the particular field, and it gives a healthy competition, and it is more suitable for organization that is a very large organizations, and it produces high efficiency. The second one is a divisional thing. So it is divisional is based on each division we have this category, and we have this particular category that is a product. So based on each product we have this divisional organization, and this divisional organization has is being categorized based on the division. For example, we have different products. So based on the different products we have this category, and here also what is much is there. If you have a product, we have an individual concentration on the particular product, and based on the product line, we have the marketing department, sales department, finance department, exclusive for a product. This is also much suitable only for a very large organization. Then a matrix is a combination of. So matrix organization. Why do we have this matrix organization? It is like a combination like we have and there is a flow of authority in the base of from the top to bottom and also horizontally. That is a very important form of organization. Why we have this matrix form of organization, and it is much very, very important form of organization matrix. The why? Because matrix is very important. It's a hybrid form. It is a hybrid form. It is more designed based on the structure, that is a project structure, and also the functional structure. So we have the functions and the project which are overlapping. So that is why we call it as a hybrid. And here we have a two-dimensional pattern. That is, we try to address the problems of the growing size, and also we talk about the complexity, how to understand. And it is as we are talking about, it is a blend of it is a blend of functional management and also it is a blend of functional management and also the product. So there is a combination of both functions together, functions and the product together in matrix. So but what happens is here is we have the overlapping of command, control and behavior patterns, because as we know, if there is a combination of functional as well as divisional, there are chances of no unity of command. So there can be overlapping of command or control, or even have the behavior patterns. And the team members who are working in this particular functional, that is matrix forms, they are much better because they are also having some functional knowledge, and it is very easy to coordinate and control the project management. Then regarding the completion of the project, the team managers they will go back to the department. So from there, it is like a temporary arrangement. So they will go back to their parent department. So this is mostly common in case of assigning some projects. So during project execution, you have to go through. So on that time, we will do all those things. and this is more suitable in order to balance the customer. See, some projects have been taken. So it is a time-bound requirement where we need more cost and technical requirement. In such case, we go for matrix organization, and we try to increase the capacity of the organization. And it is more suitable in case of multinational companies. As I told you, it is only the completion of projects. We have the combination of functional and divisional management. Then flag management, it is based on the self-management, and it is not having much place on the managerial structures. So this is with respect to this is also respect to this management structures. Then I have given what is functional management already discussed. So this functional management structure, it is a classical hierarchy where it is categorized based on the functions what they do, and the unity of command, that is single supervisor is there. And here we have the specialty, and the work is in very much general and specific. And this communication, this is within the groups, and generally information is being passed on based on the hierarchy, and this structure leads to more difficult for the project manager. So this is its drawback. Then we have the advantages and disadvantages of organization functional structure. So in advantages, as we have discussed, it tries to have more decision making skill. It tries to have enhancing the organizational level perspective. Then coordination is much better, and they use the managerial and technical talent because there is more specialization based on the functional knowledge, and specialized areas are being chosen as a career paths. The disadvantages is when they don't have a proper communication, or they don't have a proper coordination because values are different. So this is with respect to Sulu's example. Then it may lead to short-term thinking, and we cannot have a uniform pattern of standard in the function because the functional knowledge depends upon the importance. So it is a human-based structure. And this is the example for matrix organization. So here we have the complicated structure I told you, as it is a combination of both projects and the functional knowledge. So this is instead a very good a traditional vertical hierarchy, and this is much suitable only for a shorter duration with respect to completion of some projects, and it is so more suitable for MNCs. Then line and staff organization. So here we have the flow of line relationship and the staff relationship with respect to line and staff organization. This line and staff organization, we have an example of a plant manager, one who is there, and under him we have the accounting section, and we have the different sections under the line and staff thing. Here what happens is line and staff, we have two different concepts. So we have both line functions, they are responsible for goal attainment, but in case of staff functions, they are persons who are assisting in order to achieve the goals. So in line function, we fix the goal, and through the staff members we attain the goal. So that is with respect to line and staff. So this line and staff is that is a combination of conflict rather than cooperation, because there may be conflict between line and staff members also. So here what we have to look at is the authority line, staff and functional areas. If these three categories are not properly done, then there will be confusion. So we have to have a clarity while we go for this line and staff organization. We should have clarity in defining the relationship, authority relationship. That is how it improves the working of the organization, and we should try to avoid the gap which is overlapping between the authority and responsibility. So this is the advantages of line and staff organization. As I told you, it facilitates a better work and better faster work, and specialization, as we have the staff members who are specialized, and it tries to utilize the experience and advice, and the officers can take sound advice. New technology can also be introduced without any dislocation of, because we have both line and staff members. It promotes efficient functionings and very good opportunities for the young persons to get more trained and achieve their specialization and choose their career also. The difference is, as I told you, it has a lot of confusion in understanding, and and there may be ego clashes also, and always line officers may not take the advice, they may reject it, and sometimes staff officers are not also responsible in favoring the results, because there can be a conflict of interest between both the parties, because here in staff they have their specialization in line, they have the assigning, so they why there is a conflict, and there can be conflict because of blaming if the results are not favorable. Then the advantages and disadvantages of the functional organization. So we have this functional organization benefit of a specialization. Then we can apply the expert knowledge. It reduces the workload, and because you know what to do, so there are more efficiency, and there can be adequate supervision and the relief to line executive, better cooperation, execution in a very flexible mode with the economy, and we can go for mass production. But the disadvantages, as we know, there is a problem with the over specialization and discipline and understanding the relationship. We can be sometimes more faster but not proper. So the work cannot be much appreciable. Then there is more centralization, and people will be reluctant to take the responsibility. They are willing to take the authority, but they are reluctant to take the responsibility. And as I told you, it is not suiting for the bigger organization. The overhead expenses will be high, and it causes poor administration, and it is only suitable for functional organization. So these are the disadvantages of the particular functional organization.